Good evening, Bolton Maverick Outdoors again. Thanks for visiting my channel. Thanks for clicking on my video. This video, I just received, what I'm doing, I'm buying me winter gear in summer. So I'm already prepped for winter when it comes. I know it's a bit daft, I'm looking a bit far ahead. But I don't want to be short of winter gear when winter comes, because the price of the winter gear will go up and then you end up paying a fortune for stuff. So I buy it in summer when it's reasonable. Now, I bought a stove from Pomoly, a T-brick mini stove, and it was good in winter last year, but it was small, so you couldn't put much timber in it, so you have to keep feeding it, and you can't really keep the tent warm if you keep feeding it all the time. You can't sleep much. So Pomoly stoves, in my opinion, are the best titanium stoves on the market. I think they're made reasonably well, from my experience anyway. So they're a bit more expensive, but that's because they're better. So I bought another one, a Pomoly stove, which is a bit bigger. So hopefully I won't have to keep feeding it. You get a leaflet in it now, little Pomoly leaflet with some of the products in. Gives you a bit of an outline of Pomoly and who they are. I think they've got a bit of harsh treatment over the stove at 70. You know, at least they're innovative. They try and do something new. Unfortunately, they had a few problems with it, and it's probably dropped a lot of the sales, I don't know, but the stoves, I've never had any problem with the stoves. And my stove at 70, fair enough, it's got a couple of leaks, but it's still a good tent. I'll just seam seal it. I like the tent, the way it's designed. This is a Pomoly timber stove. Timber lite it is. The only difference is, I think, between the timber is that it doesn't have side windows. Well, I don't want too much glass anyway, because if it breaks, you can't use the stove. First thing, you've gone back to giving you a decent bag, which is good. Get a decent bag to put your stove in. Well made bag. It's well packaged, spark arrestor. I could probably use all the stuff off my little T-brick mini, so I'll have spares. So you've got your rings for your titanium chimney, spark arrestor. These are to put the body together. It's a different design than the other one. That's the air damper. They still only spot weld this though, and I think you should weld it all the way around so you don't get any gases escaping, but it's just my opinion. These are the little clips for your spark arrestor. They just go in your spark arrestor so you can fit guy lines. And the stove itself, it's a bit thinner than the other stove. It's only 0.6 millimeters thick titanium. It's T1 grade titanium, but it's a bit thinner. It don't look that much bigger than my T-brick mini, to be fair. I hope it is. Get your Velcro straps again around your stove, branded Pomoly. There's a lid. They've reinforced it this time with, well, it's in 3 pieces, the lid actually. So 1 glass on the front door. And your airflow, your damper on the front there. Just a plain back plate. Plain sides, no glass. There's the base, the legs. I'm sure it's supposed to fold out, a bit tight, but that's how the legs fold out. Don't look much different than my T-brick mini this size like. Sides, just when you're putting it together, basically there's grooves here and your sides just slot into them in your front and your back. Yeah, it is a bit bigger than me T-brick now. You have 3 nailed nuts, well 3 like, I don't know what they are, 3 nailed bolts. Have to be careful you don't drop these while you're out, especially if you're in grass. But what you can do, I've not lost any off mine yet, but what you can do is paint some a lighter colour so you can spot them if you drop them. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now on the others, you have like swinging catches here that lock the body together. On this one, it's a bit like the 3FUL stove. You have little rods. These rods, they've got a stopper on one end. It's screwed so it's flat on the top, and then a nailed nut on the bottom. So you take the nailed nuts off them, you pass that down through here. That's not it. That'll help I'm going to open the door on it. You have a nailed nut on the bottom and a keeper on the top. So this nut drops flush. I have 4 of these. These are these aren't titanium, I think they're stainless steel, are they? Well, they feel light for stainless steel, they might be titanium. That also unscrews, but leave that tightened. Stop, behave. And then you have a nailed nut on that end. And there she is assembled. I'm not going to assemble the chimney, I've done a video on that in the past. And I'll probably use my other chimney anyway and keep this as a spare, but they're a nice little stove. On these nuts there's a little step, and I think that goes down towards the stove. From underneath, there's your legs that fold away. There's the nailed nuts, all 4 of them. Those bars go through to the top. Legs open out. There's no actual branding of which stove it is on it, it's just Pomoly branding. But it's a timber stove that I've bought, I think. Yeah, this is a timber lite that I've bought. It just gives you some precautions and safety tips for all Pomoly stoves and usage tips, which it's a well printed catalogue, it's good. The English is pretty good, not too bad. I'll give you some dimensions now. The stove, 15 inches long or 380 millimeters, 38 centimeters. The height of the stove is roughly 8 inches, which is 200 millimeters or 20 centimeters, and the width is the same again, 8 inches, 200 millimeters, 20 centimeters. You can get, in a bit of space, you can get 14.5 inch timber in it, which is a bit longer than my T-brick mini. I think I can only get 12 inch long timber in that. The door opening size, 5 3/4 inches, 145 millimeters, 14.5 centimeters by, same again basically in height. and you've got a glass in it that's 4 3/4 inches, roughly 120 centimetres, 120 millimetres by 12 centimetres, and it's 2 3/4 inches high, which is 7 centimetres, 70 millimetres, and that's the stove. 3-piece top, which I prefer a 1-piece top, but I think Pomoly are always advancing to try and make the stove sturdier but lighter. But the problem is with this, it's bolted together and it's going to warp, isn't it? It's already going to warp it and it's cold. There's also tiny gaps in these corners here the gases can escape from, where everywhere else is pretty well sealed. With the draw of this flue though, it should keep most of your noxious gases going out. It's not as straightforward as you think using a stove in a tent. It takes some practice. It isn't as simple as you think. You've got to get the draw and the draft right on the stove for it to burn properly. And you've got to learn to control it to keep your burn longer and, keep your burn longer. You've got to learn how to control it properly and to keep it burning well. That's basically the spark arrestor that goes on top of the chimney. Oh, sorry. You also get some cut-proof gloves to assemble your stovepipe. You need to be really careful with these stovepipes when you're assembling them. They're razor sharp because it's only thin titanium and it'll cut you straight to the bone. You've got to be careful with that. Obviously the plus side of it, that's the size it packs away to. If we use solid pipes, you know, it takes up a lot of room, doesn't it? So they try and do it so it's portable. That's the idea of the stove, isn't it? Folding stove. Anyway, you get some little spring clips that go in here, in these holes. So you have 3 for guy lines. There's absolutely no weight in these components, which is brilliant. Slightly bigger than my T1 Mini. I don't want it too big because my hot tents are small. If I put too big a stove in, it'd be really close to the size of the hot tent. Well, the height from the ground is 110 millimetres. I think that's the same as the T-brick Mini, and that doesn't burn the ground, so that should be good. But they're quite stable as well. You know, they're not easy to knock over, which is a good thing. Another thing there is on this, on the legs, there are holes in each corner so you can peg your stove to the ground. Now there's no peg supplied, but everyone's got pegs. You can peg your stove to the ground to stop you knocking it over in your tent. The bag is just feels like a neoprene inside, and it's a ripstop Oxford canvas. It's a well-made bag, and that's the size of the bag. It's about, when it's packed, 17 inches by about a foot, and it'll be roughly, I should imagine when that's down. In fact, we'll pack it down now, I'll look. The damper inside is good, but the actual thing's spot welded in 4 places. The collar, I'd like to see that welded all the way around, but there don't look to be much of a gap. So, mind you, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it does, because that fits inside, but there's not much of a gap there. When you take this spark arrestor off, it's always a good idea. the damper off, it's always a good idea to put these nails nuts back in. That way you don't lose them. There's the legs folded away, and there's the holes that you can peg down. I think these bits are stainless. I know it's got stainless fixings in it, bolts and the like. This is the bolted together in the middle. You see tight, that's inside the lid. There's the slots at the sides go into, but there's a bit of play. But when it's held down in all four corners, well, those ribs strengthen the lid to stop you getting too much warpage. You always get warpage with any titanium stove. I don't care who makes it, you'll get warpage. There's the front, they're all stainless fixings. And some of it's riveted. Now I noticed when I got this way, these were a bit awkward to get in and out of here. Well, so they just flex. Make sure your door catch is turned inwards when you store it. Oh, that's just blurred, isn't it? They must go inside there before them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lid. Depth of stove folded, roughly 50mm, plus these nailed nuts. So it fits in the bag. Chimney. Spark arrestor, gloves, and when I find them, I put them somewhere, I just can't find them. Oh, I know where they are, I've seen them. And there are your clips, your stainless clips that go in your spark arrestor so you can tie guy lines to it. You can, might as well do it. Put your straps around here. I don't normally use these straps, but while they're here. You can actually take those the bars out that hold the top and bottom together and put them inside the chimney if you wanted to. But I've just put them inside the stove, but they don't really need to go in there. Zips on 3 sides, 2 carry handles. There you go, the Pomoly timber lite. I think I've already mentioned it before, that the only difference between the timber and the timber lite is that the timber lite has no glass sides, where the timber has, I think, 1 glass side. But I prefer to have no glass really, if I can help it. Just give you a bit of ambience in your hot tent in winter when you can see the light off the fire. All I want to do is to be able to observe the burn and to check if I need to refuel it. And that small window is okay for that, but I can also open the door and have a look. So, but it's a good stove. Pomoly make good stoves. I wouldn't buy it otherwise. I bought a few different types of stoves. I bought a 3FUL stove, which were a waste of time. In fact, I think that was dangerous. It's gone now anyway, I've got rid of it. The Woods Walker stove, which wasn't too bad for the price. I think that was about £275. And these are a bit more expensive, but there is a big step up in quality. And if you're hot tenting, you want something that's going to last and be good and good quality. So it's worth paying a bit more. And obviously you buy titanium if you want to save weight. £2 kilos with everything, the bag, chimney and everything. It will bang on. These aren't that accurate, but it weighs 2 kilos according to that. So transporting weight, 2 kilos isn't bad when you're in a winter, when you went out for winter. I should imagine that'll fit in your backpack okay. Yeah, it will. It squash up to like 11 inches and the length. About 16 inches when it's compressed up. So a foot by 16 inches to put in your backpack by roughly 60mm when you've got the bag 50mm with just a stove. If I clean my stove normally, I put my stove in a dry bag. I know this is a good bag for carrying it, but normally when it's in my rucksack, I put it in a dry bag and I slide it down the compartment for the bladder. That's where I usually put my stove when I'm out winter camping. Anyway, that's enough of that. Thanks for watching. There's the Pomoly timber lite. It's a bit bigger than my T-Brick Mini, so I won't have to fuel it as much. Thanks for watching. It's much appreciated. See you all later.